Hi, folks. This is Mountain Man coming to you from parts unknown. How is everybody tonight? I've got on my thumbnail subversive control. What do I mean by that? And will of the people. This whole thing boils down to, I've said it's not about Trump. It is about Trump to a certain degree. But it boils down to the will of the people, which is the foundation of our government, and that has been subverted for quite some time. And that is where I begin, right? I brought that up before in the past. So I think it's going to be demonstrated, and we're going to look at it quite a bit during this broadcast, how the national conversation is changing quite a bit. So I've got some clips I want to show you all, and I hope my voice has come through nice and clear so we can all have a good time. And I appreciate everybody that joined me last night and everybody that's coming in tonight. And hopefully we'll have a robust and positive conversation like we did last night, like we've had many nights. So let me see who all's coming in. Who do we got? We got there. We got, who's the one on the very top above Nikki? I can't read it. It's too dark. I see Nikki and a one, it starts with an S. Sandy, how you doing? Doc, Rubber Toe. Nice to see you, Angel. Chris, how you doing? Jersey Joe. Wanda, nice to see you. Well, thank you all for coming in. I put this article up. I don't know if I put it up last night, but I did play that clip about Trump. And this is so important. This is a marker. And as I've said, Trump has used this term and talked about the issue of piercing the veil, crossing a line. He said it many times in many different ways. And he's going to keep saying it because it is a big, big deal. Now, this was Gateway Pundit. He's opened up a Pandora's box. Joe, be very careful what you wish for. President Trump fires dire warning to Biden while speaking at New York Young Republican Club event. The other thing, too, was he started that at 10 o'clock at night. And talk about keeping the deep state on their toes. I think I could say that word one time. But he'll put out truths at 2 o'clock in the morning, 6 o'clock in the morning. He'll give speeches at 10 o'clock at night. And let me tell you, people that got everything on the line, they're going to be awake and watching. Hi, Lone Wolf. How you doing? Doug, how you doing? Oh, let me see if Hilarious came in. Ingrid, how are you? Yesterday, Hilarious got me some coffee. And after the broadcast, Hilarious too. And I got into a conversation with somebody who I hope returns and more people because our role in this, we're here for a purpose. We're here for a reason. I'm sure there are some people that are kind of along for the ride and they're never going to take an interest or desire to make a change in the national conversation. But that's not us. We do want to affect the national conversation and we want to comfort others. Okay. So I welcome people with a differing point of view, as you all saw last night. But I forgot to say thank you to Hilarious too. For stopping by to buy me a coffee. So anyway, hopefully they'll watch this broadcast. Thank you, Nikki said, please hit the thumbs up. Lucy, how you doing? Let me see if I can move this over just a tad so I can see the chats a little better. I have my weaker spectacles on. Susie, how are you doing? Wild West, how you doing? Sharon Mercer, how are you? Doug's in, Lone Wolf's in. Let's see if I forgot anybody or missed them. Yeah, while you're getting geared up, go ahead and get that like button out of the way. Because you know you're going to like it. So anyway, there's a lot of stuff I've got in the hopper, and some of it has to do with that display they put up in the State House. Okay, we talked about it last night, the Satanic display. And, I had in my notes, which I write stuff down, and then when I go into a broadcast, I don't even pick them up. I just go. If I run out of something, I say, wait a minute, let me refresh my mind. I'll look at them. So I said, well, let me go over these. Since I write them out, I might as well make sure I'm catching stuff. And do you remember when Mr. T was giving a speech, he said, that business with DeSantis and what's-her-face out of Iowa, governor out of Iowa, he said, and I quoted it, he said, there's something there. Why she is endorsing DeSantis, and why she's taken such a beating going from a popular governor, and then with the disloyalty that she showed, going right down to being unpopular. He said basically there's a reason she went over to DeSantis like she did, pretty much betrayed Trump. He said something is there. So I think we're going to find out what that something is, along with how he keeps saying he calls Ada Hutchinson Asa. He said, I'll tell you about why I call him that someday, but not right now. But he also says, Bird Brain Haley. Well, I'll tell you why I give her that nickname some other time. So we're going to find out a lot of stuff. It is when you think about it. And I can listen to him tell stories all day long, even if he's telling the same story I've heard, so long as I catch these little nuggets that he drops out to us, because they get magnified as time goes on. As I said, he discussed this Pandora's box a month ago, and it didn't make a ripple. Now it is becoming part of the national discourse, just like a lot of other things. I'll tell you one that's starting to be in the average American's lexicon. Hi, single songwriter. How are you? Pappy Two Bears. How are you doing? Is Jeffrey E. A year ago, 2 years ago, 3 years ago, we were all talking about it, and people didn't know what in the world we were talking about. If we tried to explain it, they thought we were crazy, right? So now it's coming out to be in everybody's lexicon. Now, and Trump, what else did he do? Here. Due to the great excitement and success of my previous Trump digital trading cards, we're doing it again. The mugshot edition, available right now. Plus, buy 47 cards. Get that, 47, and get a piece of the suit I wore for the mugshot photo. Boy, that's going to go quicker than Elvis's cape. And also get an invite to a gala dinner where it be at Mar-a-Lago. Wow. Don't wait. They go fast, I believe. I'm happy if you're happy. Have fun. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. So, people that can't stand Trump for whatever reason, if we can get them to lighten up a little bit, okay, even in all this adversity, Trump, is still coming forward as a warm person, but he's also reassuring us that these types of things that they're trying to do to him will not be tolerated. Because, yeah, they accused him falsely of things. Yeah, Russia. Yeah, the P-tape. Yeah, Charlottesville hoax. Yeah, the I grab women hoax, if you know what I mean. He said women will let you. A fact of life, if you got money, there are certain women, okay? So anyway, all that aside, the bottom line is This whole exercise demonstrates what lengths they will go to defraud the American government, subvert the will of the people, and he's exposing it, and he's going to crush it. Okay, so here's one of the cards, and let me tell you, whoever got his last sets of cards, they've probably made a small fortune. And who knows what the future will bring, especially if you get a piece of the suit he wore when he was getting his mugshot taken. So this is a picture of an official card, one of the cards. And you see jets flying over the Capitol. Okay? He's flying. He's, that's cool. He's not walking in front of the White House. I just noticed that. Oh, I got a notification. Let me see. Oh, Frank's speech. God bless him. I thought somebody wouldn't buy me a coffee. Ha ha. No, Frank's speech. God bless him. I got my notifications so I know right when somebody's trying to get a hold of me. But anyway, so yeah, I know they're out of reach for a lot of people, but if people can see their way to getting them, that's the way to go. So anyway, here Trump is wishing people goodwill. Him and Melania have always been respectful of Christmas, American traditions, people's sensibilities. He wished everybody a happy Hanukkah. To the people that can't stand me, think about why you can't. If they are, like I've said before, victims of very sophisticated, unlawful psychological warfare campaigns, I understand it. But if they can't stand Trump because they exercise what I've talked about in the past, which is Schadenfreude, okay, that is a sign that someone has evil intentions towards others. Schadenfreude is taking joy from the suffering of others. There's not much we can do with people like that. But if there are people who have been only exposed to poison mainstream media, if I believed everything the mainstream media said about Trump, I would not like him either. But the thing is, I don't believe them. I know what they are and where they're coming from. So here's an example of it. Everybody's starting to put up Christmas decorations and wish each other Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, Happy Holidays, however they want to say it. It's supposed to be a happy time. And a lot of us as Christians, we remember the reason for the season, right? And but overall, it's a spirit of family togetherness, giving, reflection, things of that nature. But here, watch how they've got their decorations up. And listen to it's only a few second clip, but listen to, with this ambiance of the holiday season, Christmas and Hanukkah around them, listen to their choice of topic. And it tells you how debased these individuals are. Mother's intuition, he says. They're sitting there joking about Henderson Cooper. Excuse me, but it's what they said in a threesome. How disgusting that kind of a notion is with their Christmas program or holiday program. But did you notice anything else, folks, about this setup? Little subliminal things that they put out there. Let me tell you, these are very highly paid producers, okay? Very highly paid set directors, okay? They are very meaningful when they put things up, okay? Let me see who else has gotten in here. Hi, Cheryl. Single songwriter, let's just say that. That's right. They've perfected their brainwashing techniques and Repetitiveness is a key to it. So did you all notice anything about that little clip I played that's subliminal, other than the filthy talk? Hi, TJ, how you doing? William, how you doing? K&S Cleanup, how are you? Redhausen, wow, everybody's coming in. Nice to see you all. So let me see if anybody got it. Anybody got it? Anybody? I'll play it again. Well, no, I really don't have to. But I'll play it again anyway. What the hell? Mother's intuition. Well, that's one thing, because we all saw that photo of him with his twin brother, who had an unfortunate end, sitting with her mom on a bed. But anyway, it's right in front of us. A little hint, I think. I think a sign of disrespect. Yeah, I'm sure we'll see a lot of different things in there. I saw somebody say that it's so many hidden things back there. There probably is little horns and satanic symbols and all this stuff. But the one that strikes me the most, I want to see if anybody gets it. But, sit there and say, Henderson Cooper, he wants a threesome in the bedroom. Ha, ha, and he spits his drink out. Ha, ha, ha. Like I said, they know what they're doing. And they got producers in their ears all the time. And, but anyway, let me see if anybody gets it. I'll give a hint. It's a sign of disrespect, sloppiness that they could try to say it's sloppiness, but it's not. So anyway, while you guys are cogitating on that, I've got a clip about this satanic demonstration they put in the State House. I'll play that. I've got some memes I'm going to put up. I got some reports about this Harvard president, Harvard. She is being backed by, there you go, Nikki. The menorah isn't fully lit. Isn't that something? How many is missing? 3? I'm not sure. How many lights are missing on the menorah? Let's say that's not by accident, folks. And I discussed last night how the Maccabees, all right, the revolt or the uprising, whatever they want to call it, of the Maccabees, I think it was in 150 or 200 BC, is when the tradition of Hanukkah started with a menorah. And that was when the righteous few, okay, kicked the, out of the hedonistic swine that was infesting society, okay? And it is quite something that what is happening in Gaza right now is happening during Hanukkah. We were told we would live in biblical times, so we shall see. Oh, 8 balls of 9 instead of, oh, really? Oh, yeah, they're going to put up the TRANS colors for sure. That's all a nod to Moloch and Baal, okay? So, anyway, that's just a little something I noticed that I thought you all would find interesting. Here's something you might find funny. That moment when you realize you and Trump are the same age and he has Melania and you're married to Hillary. I might leave that up for a while. Bill, you made your bed, lay in it. Ha ha ha. Oh, here's some news I meant to cover last night. Insider Paper put out. Tucker Carlson is launching his own streaming service. Tucker Carlson Network is expected to go live on Monday and costs $9 a month. Wall Street Journal. What is that, folks? If he's got a streaming service, do you think old Mountain Man could get on there? Huh? Mountain Man Live. I'll get on. I'll tell them what it's all about. You better believe it. Somebody asked me about my Truth Social. I took this picture last night, I think. This is what my Truth Social page looks like. All right, there's Mr. T at Mount Rushmore. Ha ha. And Mountain Man Says, at Mountain Man Says. I got 375 followers. Okay, I probably got more now. I might have 379 or 380. And I'm getting into the habit of, after I do a broadcast with memes, I'll put my memes on Truth Social and leave them up there. Sometimes I even put them on Truth Social and I say, hey, I'm going to use that in the broadcast tonight. Ha ha. So I'll put them up before. Sometimes I'll put them up after. I don't know when I'm going to come across a good meme. So anyway, folks, so if you go to Truth Social and put at Mountain Man Says, because my Rumble is Mountain Man Speaks, and here I'm Mountain Man too. Ha ha ha. So there you have it. Hey, get on there and have a little fun, share memes. Hi, Wake and Trillium, how you doing? Share memes, and Joe Biden opened up a page on Truth Social, and he's got I don't know how many hundreds of thousands of followers. I don't know how that worked out, but it's really funny to watch them struggle along. Here's that last, which one was this? The Penn State chick. Hamas Institute of Technology. This is Babylon B. UPenn President Liz McGill has a new gig at Hamas Institute of Technology. A day after being forced out of the University of Pennsylvania, Liz McGill has announced as a new president of the Hamas Institute of Technology. And there she is with her helpers, and they're working on a sign. It's a little tough in that area, but they're doing the best they can. And Trump put this up. I didn't get this up last night, but he had this up. Crispy Chris. There he is. His wife, she needs to talk to him. And DJT put this up on Instagram. And he didn't put it on Truth Social. But, I mean, his wife really ought to tell him, no shorts from now on, okay? But anyway, Trump put on there, look at those little feet holding up that big blob. How do those little feet do that? But anyway, real Donald Trump says, not fit for office, mentally or physically. We need strong people not suffering from harsh terminal disease, TDS, Trump derangement syndrome. So, and that was liked by 171,000 people. Well, I'll be darned. Let's see what's going on here. Hi, Melinda. Let's see. Em, how you doing? It's beginning to look a lot like Christmas. Don't let them spoil our Christmas, folks. Just like that movie I was telling you about, that Big Mike and Obama put out, hey, that's why I put in on my thumbnail, shadow presidency is starting to come out, where he bought that mansion blocks from the White House, and he moved Valerie Jarrett in with him, has Susan Rice down there, John Kerry in and out. They were following Trump or preceding Trump everywhere he went, trying to wrest operational control from him, his presidency, in a subversive manner, subverting the will of the people. It's going to be proven. Mark my words. So anyway, we don't pay attention to Obama except to expose him and or mock him. So speaking of truth, Nextstar settles a defamation suit by Truth Social, retracts story on Trump firm financials. Okay? Trump media drops Nextstar from defamation suit. Now, if you just read the headline, you would think, oh, well, Trump didn't have enough, so he had to drop his lawsuit. No, they settled. They paid money, okay? Trump Media Group drops Nextstar from defamation suit over, quote, falsely reporting on Truth Social's financials. Other news media outlets cited as defendants include The Guardian, The Hollywood Reporter, The Miami Herald, Reuters, Rolling Stone, Deadline Hollywood, and CNBC. Okay, so this is where the sword cuts two ways. Okay, the sword cuts two ways, and they want to play lawfare. The sword cuts two ways, lawfare coming their way. Oh, by the way, I meant to put this picture up too. Well, speaking of Big Mike, they are rebuilding the cathedral at Notre Dame, and there's a picture of it. I had a picture of it at nighttime. It's really pretty with the scaffolding all around it, but that's the spire. I mean, you can't keep down people of faith. You just can't keep them down. They're rebuilding that spire. You see it inside all that scaffolding, and that place is so well documented as far as construction techniques, photographs, methods. They're probably using many of the same methods that were used back when that church was built. But anyway, it was said that Big Mike was sitting out on a boat watching that church burn. So there is a hint to us all that they knew something about it. So anyway, I am glad that Biden opened up on Truth Social because they get to see memes like this. Stuff the average person can relate to help them get over that syndrome I just mentioned. Okay, there you go. You at the airport getting frisked and Juan at the border. Okay, everybody can relate to that. Everybody's getting sick of it. By the way, here I'll play a clip. You know, they're going to have, and that's another thing I was going to discuss, they're going to have a Democratic convention in Chicago. It is very famous, the Chicago convention, back when, I believe it was Nixon versus Humphrey. The convention was held in Chicago, and it was a mess. So anyway, here is, you know, if people tune in that say, well, Trump is a R-A and then C-S-I, R-A-C-S-I-S-T, right? They say that. Well, more and more people are getting exposed to videos like this one here. Tell me about it. Tell me about how he's not liked by minorities. Keep telling me. I want to hear it, because that line is getting old and tired because it is a lie.
Why do you think they're doing this? Why would they be bringing in these tens of thousands of people, 20 buses a day, 1,000 more per day? Why would they be doing this? And what's your message?
The only reason that I can see that they would be doing this is to replace us. And we say Trump 2024 because Trump is the only one who's going to do something about this and partner with all of America. This is where all of America has got to come together and put a stop to this. We have to send these people back where they come from, or this is going to explode violently. It's going to explode on multiple fronts. And the mayor and this governor doesn't care. And since they don't care, then we must go red. We must link up with all of America. And we care, and we have to do something about it. We're coming for every elected official that didn't step up and all those that supported this mass, wipe out of our communities. We coming for you. By the time Trump gets ready to run in November, Chicago is going to look like a sea of red. When that Democratic National Convention get here, you're going to see so many red T-shirts that you're going to think you're in Texas. Enough is enough.
What he's bringing up is what Vivek said about the replacement theory is true, okay? And they realize it, and they're talking about it, how they're destroying their communities and trying to replace us.
Can't give it away to foreign nationals. No other country's going to allow us to come in and do the same thing that's happening here.
You have American citizens of African American descent that have built this country and built the great city of Chicago. They are the broad shoulders that built this city, and they are being disrespected by the Biden regime, the entire uniparty, the globalists, because now they're forcing illegal alien invaders into a city that doesn't have the resources to care for its citizens in healthcare, in education, in police protection, in economics, and anything. And now they have to bear the brunt to it. And they're too gutless. These progressive whites that run this deal are too gutless to have them in there. Just like they're not in the Upper East Side of New York or the Upper West Side, they're not out by Northwestern University.
It's something in their minds that makes them believe that they'll do this to us and we do nothing in return. This is not just for Chicago for us. We've reached all across the country to send them a message. We're going to flip America red. We're going to send the strongest message to the Democratic Party that Black America, Black Chicago has ever seen. Black America is about to rise up. Now that we are the mothers and fathers, we're saying Trump 2024 across America. And we ask Trump to come to Chicago, come here and walk these streets with us. And we'll put thousands behind him as he walks the streets. And that's a fact. That's a promise.
Thousands behind you. Hi, Island Girl. So that's undeniable. Undeniable. And I got more clips I'm going to play you too. But Mr. T put out something. Let me see if I can find it. And it has to do with a comment I just had to get rid of because it mentions something that goes behind commie guidelines, right? So, where is it? If I find it, I'll put it up. It is something that Mr. T brought up. Here we go. Mr. T posted this, and I had to scratch the word out so I could put it. Oh, that's not it. Anyway, Dan Scavino put this one out. I'll find the other one in a minute. UPS won't say whether it shared Americans' contact information with labor unions, Americans for Fair Treatment. USPS is entangled in a federal lawsuit, accused of potentially sharing the private information of over 2/3 of its customers. Listen, the post office used to serve the people, okay? Now they become minders, okay? Trackers, nosy busybodies that feed information. So they think of every asset they can deploy. But I will find that thing from Mr. T. We're not allowed to talk about M-A, okay, I-L, all right? B-A, okay, LL0T. Okay, we can't talk about that. So no hard feelings, just refrain from that in the future. So anyway, let me get back on stride. Here we go. This might be it right here. No? Oh, gosh, I want to show y'all something. I was talking about the menorah. And if we have anybody who speaks Arabic out there, please correct me if I'm wrong. We got an individual who was a Turkish member of parliament. And he was giving a speech. And y'all pay attention now because this is only a couple of seconds. But he said in no uncertain terms that Israel would feel the wrath of Allah. Okay, that's the last thing he said. I'll go ahead and play it. And if somebody understands Arabic, correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe that's what he said.
Allah'ın gazabından kurtulamayacaksınız. Hepinizi saygıyla selamlıyorum.
Whoopsie. I'll play it again in a second, but what you saw there was Turkish MP suffers a heart attack during a tirade against Israel. Right when he finished saying that, what's the coincidences? Okay? I mean, this is high profile. You're talking about millions of people saw this. And what's the chances of that? And the words had just gotten out of his mouth. Here, I'll play it again.
Allah'ın gazabından kurtulamayacaksınız. Hepinizi saygıyla selamlıyorum.
So he either took a nap, or I don't know if he ended up in a dirt nap. He might have, they might have been able to resuscitate him or get him medical help. I don't know. But that's going to make a lot of people go, Remember that song? Things that make you go, So anyway, here Mr. T put this up. And I didn't copy the whole article. It's on his Truth Social page if you want to go see it. But the Epic Times, and I'm doing this for people that may tune in that believe that Trump does not have members of the minority community behind him, just like I played that video, what that young man said was going to happen in Chicago. This BLM leader stands behind J6 prisoners, endorses Trump. I'm worried for this guy. I don't think he realizes who he's crossing, but at least he's being brave about it. So his name is Mark Fisher, and he's up in Rhode Island, so he's kind of insulated. If he was down around D.C. or over in Portland or Washington, I would be much more concerned for his safety. I really would. But he is talking on some points. Like I said, you can get that off of Truth Social if you want to. But he's talking on some points that show the lights are cutting on, okay? And he has a powerful network and a powerful voice to reach out to more minority communities. This is only the beginning. The little video I showed you of all the leads Trump had, 10% in Michigan or Minnesota, 10% here, 10%. It is just the beginning. It's going to steamroll. It's going to grow. And it's going to be, like I said in my last video, unstoppable. Unstoppable, because the lies and the persecution of Donald Trump is coming into focus. The defrauding of the American people through propaganda and subversive control of critical elements in the government, okay, prevented him from being able to properly execute his duties as a chief executive. And I think that is going to be a ruling, and I think that's why Trump is going to get a mulligan. Watch what I say. But anyway, Trump put this out, why the Iran deal matters. It was a first in a series of hugely consequential lies that will shape our country as much as the Middle East. So it's getting down to Barry, and like the individual who was in the comments last night. Not a lot of people know that he spent years of his life going by the name Barry Soweto. The majority of Americans don't even know that. The majority of Americans don't know that he has, for decades, wore a ring that says something to the effect of Allah is the one true God. And I'll discuss his little interview with George Stephanopoulos when he supposedly talked about his Christian religion. I'll go over that. But a lot of people are going to be finding out things they never knew, that he used multiple social security numbers. These are matters of fact. They are not matters of speculation. It's matters of fact that he used multiple social security numbers. It is a matter of fact he went by the name Barry Soweto. And, okay, all right, I see what you're saying. All right, that's good. So, anyway, once people start finding this stuff out, that it's coming out in drips and drabs. But the people in our group here in this chat have known these things for years. They've known these things, and they attempted to report on them before he was elected during his first term, but those things were squashed down, okay? And they're going to be coming out. But those are two indisputable facts. He went by a different surname, and he used multiple social security numbers. People know very little about his past, but it's going to start coming out. So, yeah, Saturo. How you doing, Larry? Hi, Christopher. And his birth cert. The fact of the matter is that, hi, Kate, how you doing? The fact of the matter is that Joe Arpaio was the sheriff in Maricopa County, and he did a forensic investigation on that certificate you just mentioned. Kickin' Bird, how you doing? Let's see. And it was Island Girl. Yeah, all right, I saw you earlier. Yeah. It was determined forensically by law enforcement experts that was a false certificate. And not a lot of people know that the lady who certified that document was in a plane crash, and out of, I believe, 27 passengers, is the only one that was expired. Nobody was even really seriously injured. The plane belly landed in the water. Everybody got out and was floating around with life jackets on. Everybody was accounted for except her, and they found her drowned. A lot of people don't know that stuff. And anybody who wouldn't be concerned with those facts of the matter, you got to be keeping your eyes open to stuff like that. So let me see here. We've got another thing. A man on the street interviews. Here we go. These are the types of things people are starting to see, especially now that control of Twitter has been taken away from what we used to call the DS, the deep and then state. But we found out through the Twitter files that who actually controlled Twitter and the other platforms that we all know about. I won't name them. Every major platform, that they were influenced by members of the intelligence community, right, folks? So that's gone as far as Twitter's concerned. And these are the types of interviews people are seeing.
Minority communities, we're not seeing the improvement. There's inflation with everything: food, gas, insurance prices. I mean, you name it.
Bidenomics is not working. It's just a complete mess. It's a disaster. Especially here in New York City, we're feeling it very hard.
If you could say anything to Biden right now, who says that the economy is improving, especially in Black and brown communities, what would you say to him?
That's lies. I believe that's lies. Heavy lies on that, for sure.
Do you think that somebody else besides Biden should be president next time?
Of course. Bring back Trump.
Tell me why.
We had money. We had money when Trump was president.
Free my son Trump. Free my son Trump. Trump 2024, everybody. Trump 2023.
That's crazy. And we're here in the Bronx.
I'm gonna vote for Trump if he runs, because I feel like it was much better when he was here financially for everybody, not just me, for everybody.
I'm definitely voting for Donald Trump. He made sure we had money in our pockets. He was for the people. He made sure we had what we needed. I feel like everything will go back to how it was. I mean, ever since he's out of office, everything's declined.
When Trump was president, my life was good. Economical wise, I was doing so much better.
They're saying it's going to be Biden-Trump, so who will you vote for?
Oh, I ain't gonna lie, I'm gonna have to go for Trump.
Sorry. I'm gonna go for Trump. Trump. Always Trump.
Here, let me see. Who you voting for?
Trump.
Feeling the pain of price hikes is one thing, but the show of open support for former President Donald J. Trump on the streets of the Bronx was very surprising. And it's the sort of thing that has Biden campaign strategists looking very carefully at the messaging around Bidenomics as we get closer to 2024.
Yeah, as we move closer to 2024, they're starting to get very worried. So anyway, here is a little something. Now, I tell you, you didn't see anything other in that video as far as people being interviewed but minorities. And that tells you most people in this world just want to be productive, be happy, and live a good life. Okay? They're not going to throw their future in the trash pail to run around and scream from the river to the sea when they don't even know where the hell the river is or the sea is. So they have harnessed the power of malcontents. But now here, this is interesting. When you think of what Trump said about this Iowa governor, changing horses, so to speak, switching horses, he said there's something to this. But anyway, and we discussed the Hanukkah symbols, how all these things are happening during Hanukkah, coming up on the Christmas season. Then you have this display being put in the State House that we talked about last night. But here's a little clip about it.
And, you know, over the weekend, the Satanic Temple of Iowa came in, put up their display. A spokesperson for the Iowa Department of Administrative Services said there's a procedure to apply for getting to have your display there, and they followed that and met the guidelines for that. But this display is located near the east door by the stairs on the first floor. Now, today, members of the Satanic Temple of Iowa were on hand with the display. They declined to do an interview. They told me to refer to the Satanic Temple website. And on that national site, the main issues they are promoting are abortion as a religious right and establishing after-school Satan clubs.
An after-school Satan club. And he said that they filed the paperwork for religious freedom and all this crapola. Let me tell you, the Supreme Court has ruled that religious displays have to be tied in a historical context, okay? We're talking about accepted, established religions, and this display is going to have to be removed because the person who started the Satanic Church, there's videos on YouTube. You can take a look. He's an old bald-headed dude that tries to look, grows a goatee and wears creepy rings and tries to act like he, knows anything about Satan. He started this church in the 1960s, okay? That's a far cry from 3000 BC, okay? So this historical context isn't there. It's just an old pothead drunk that wanted to talk a bunch of women into getting smoked up and running around in front of them necky, right? There's no theology, no basis for it, and it's going to get thrown out. And Jack Posobiec put up a comment that I thought was interesting, if I could find it. He said, look, they're putting up things, they're tearing down statues. Is this it right here? Here we go. Satanic clubs and schools awarded hundreds of thousands of dollars of taxpayer dollars in Pennsylvania. Satanic altars receiving public display in the Iowa Capitol. Satanic abortion rituals argued for religious exemption from heartbeat bills in Texas. It's all right in the open. But he also did another comment talking about how they were tearing down statues of Thomas Jefferson, okay? At the same time, they're putting this garbage up. So, people are going to get fed up with it. It's going to turn around, and we see the ship turning. Here's another one right here. Missouri AG, all right, launches an official investigation into Media Matters, and Elon Musk announced he was going after Media Matters, and anybody that funds them going to sue them personally. Now we have a criminal investigation into Media Matters over the manipulation of the X algorithm, the specific manipulation of the company X. Okay, Andrew Bailey attests that Media Matters violated consumer protection laws by deceptively manipulating the algorithm on X. So they got a lot more to worry about. Every day there's new stuff coming out. Oh, here's a sad story. I had this in the studio yesterday. I didn't get to put it up, but a Catholic priest, okay, ST, and then the rest of it is ABB, met his end in a Nebraska church. An arrest was made. Reverend Stephen Gugsell was taken to a Nebraska Medical Center in Omaha to be treated, but he passed away a short time later from his injuries. So we've heard this, and we also heard about a rabbi in a synagogue last week. The same thing happened, all right? So we've got this glorification of violence and a projection of acceptability for going after people of faith. Here we have this, what's her name? Diversity hire. There you go. Harvard president Claudine Gay plagiarized PhD. Now, this is the one who would not condemn violence against Jewish people. These revelations come after Gay defended anti-Semitism on campus after having condemned so-called misgendering and failure to use preferred pronouns. Okay? But it's okay to say whatever you want. It's okay to leave a few lights off on the menorah, right? It's okay to throw paint on a synagogue, right? Here we go. What's this one? Truth Social. And let me tell you something. If anybody from Truth Social is listening to me, pay attention. Anybody's got anything to do with Truth Social, I want to ask, what's the big idea? What's the big idea? Let me move it over here separate. What's the big idea where, look how much of the screen is taken up with static stuff. Home, up top, First on the top, it says truth, and that takes up a fifth or a sixth of the screen. Then you have a gray block that does nothing except say home, and you can't move it out of the way. And then you have a notification that won't move out of the way that says the person you're on the screen looking at has put up new truths. Thank you. I should be able to tap on that and get rid of it. No, but it's in the way of what I'm trying to take a picture of. And then you have a small space where you see the message that the person's trying to put out. And then under that, a bunch of stuff you can't move out of the way. So the whole screen is taken up with, excuse me, folks, crap. And you can't get a truth on one screen where you can take a picture of it. So anyway, I didn't mean to rant about that. But this is a scene on Harvard campus. Claudine Gay, best friend Hamas ever had. And this was being bussed around. So she's under fire for her comment. But we had that one from University of Pennsylvania, and I said this one and MIT were also made some nasty comments. So Elise Stefanik, after University of Pennsylvania resignation, 1 down, 2 to go. University of President McGill resigned Saturday night after a hate speech on campus, and the woman exposed the weakness, which is Elise Stefanik. She said 1 down, 2 to go. But they're hanging on to her. This lady named Gay. Let me see. Breaking, the National Association of Scholars calls on Harvard to remove Claudine Gay as president of the university. The esteemed group notes Gay's, quote, shoddy professional work, record of plagiarism, and promotion of RACIST policies. Momentum is building. So she's hanging in there. And which group put out? The board, Harvard board. Here it is. I think this is it. Yeah. Harvard University. They put out, you can get this off of Truth Social. Harvard University put out a letter in support of this gender-identified individual who does not like people who are between the river and the sea. Let's see. It just ends up with the usual hocus pocus at the bottom. Let me see. In this tumultuous and difficult time, we unanimously stand in support of President Gay. And then at the bottom it says, and we are confident that President Gay will lead Harvard forward towards accomplishing this vital work. Well, just remember what Trump said, that these endowments are going to be appropriated by the federal government, because if they are engaged in Marxist, communist leanings, jihad, okay? So, this is fuzzy. This is from, I can't read it. Devin Nunes put it out. But here's a little clip of a girl nodding about these endowments and what's me when I realized that defunding the endowments will happen without the right lifting a finger. Ha ha ha. Now, what she's laughing about, or what I was laughing about, how these endowments are going to disappear without the right having to lift a finger, because, hey, if they're in violation of law and taking federal funding has been going on for years, it's not just Harvard. Hi, Jason. We've got Stanford University. I think that's the biggest one. They're involved with the SEC, Security and Exchange Commission, along with a lot of other stuff. But there's so many polluted colleges. so that, believe me, it's going to be a purge. It's going to be a purge. Here's something from Tim Pool's broadcast I made a copy of. What would happen if they arrested Trump? Oh, what happened to my video there? Come on, move. There we go. Didn't want to move for me. But anyway, let me play this for you. What the young people are saying.
Of the people when he does get indicted, when he does get arrested.
He was indicted. He was arrested.
when he does get convicted and put in jail. But there's probably going to be even more indictments. There's probably going to be even more charges with the way that things are going. But when he's in jail, how will the American people respond? That's the question.
I think they're listening to people like us, and they're wondering, waiting for us to tell them what to do. That's like the scary part, kind of, in a way, is like not the responsibility, but also like how things are hanging by a thread right now, and people need guidance.
I know what they need to do. They need to buy Cast Brew coffee, the greatest cup of coffee. I'm kidding.
Also work out.
Yeah.
Take care of yourself.
That's
work
a real
out.
point. Because Tucker was talking about that the other day, sort of. He was saying, like, because of all of these indictments and everything, like, I've become a bigger Trump supporter is what he's saying. And I think a lot of Americans feel that way. And I think that would be a breaking point for a lot of people. And I don't, it's hard to say what they would do per se, but I think that would certainly be crossing the line for a lot of people.
Crossing the line for a lot of people, and their support growing for Trump when you have a lot of young people who were liberal, middle of the road, or really left-leaning, starting to see what this garbage has been doing to the presidency of the United States. Here we go. For the people that just have the knee-jerk reaction of disliking Trump, it's time to start looking at it through a different lens. How did you get that crazy liberal to jump? I told him Trump said not to do it. So, anyway, did you see Tim Pool trying to sell his coffee during that? Anyway, I got to buy me a coffee, link in the description if anybody wants to help the channel out. And I want to thank Hilarious, too. Haven't been watching chats, but if you're out there, thank you for helping out with yesterday's broadcast. I do appreciate it. So anyway, what I have now on this Ukrizzle business, Zelensky came to town and he got pretty much ignored. Here we go. And he's going to keep being ignored. Speaker Johnson unmoved by meeting with Ukrainian President Zelensky. After meeting with Ukrainian President Vladimir, whatever his name is, Zelensky Tuesday, Johnson reiterated his stance that the House would not send any aid without seeing border security. Okay? So, we got these things take time. Okay? We've got to ease into this. We can't just rip a Band-Aid off or rip a tumor out. We got to do it surgically. But here you have Tommy Tuberville talking about aid to Ukraine. And this report is a little difficult to understand at the beginning. But you hear what Tuberville, what his opinion is of the situation in Ukraine. And hey, politicians, not Tuberville, but the others that are listening and have been supporting Ukraine and are getting heat now from people who are tired of seeing their bills go through the roof, they're going to start walking in Tommy Tuberville's his shoes.
Are you concerned that if there's no money, Ukraine could lose the war to Russia?
Well, that's always been a big possibility the whole time. I mean, I've never thought they could win to begin with, especially the way we eased into it.
What are the implications that if Russia wins? Are you worried about the implications if Russia wins?
Well, everybody keeps saying they're going to continue to go across Europe. I mean, they can't beat Ukraine on the eastern side. How are they going to continue to go the rest of the way through Europe? I've never believed that scenario. I think it's a good selling point to send more money.
So you're hearing the divide within the GOP side. Some, like Tommy Tuberville, saying no more money at all for Ukraine. Others saying at least there needs to be a deal on border security first before agreeing on aid to Ukraine. But there is no deal in sight between the two parties on border security, which is why President Zelensky, despite these urgent appeals, leaving Washington without any aid, unclear when and if that may happen.
Now, that was CNN News. But the question is, was it 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock in the morning? We want average people to see this type of stuff. Like I showed those polls they played at 5 in the morning when everybody's still in the fart sack. So at least most of the liberals anyway. Not to say there aren't hardworking liberals out there. I'm sure there are. What is this about? Oh, how come we haven't heard this anywhere in the mainstream news? And is this the same one that had a diary? I'm just asking the chats. Sarah Biden emerges as central figure in family's foreign deals. GOP lawmakers seek to question Sarah Biden as part of their investigation of President Biden for possible impeachable offenses. How come we haven't heard any of that on any of the major news? I mean, anything about Donald Trump, Eric Trump, they throw that stuff out there, Ivanka, any kind of garbage they can. But now here, you got poor old mountain man having to put this stuff out about Sarah Biden. We'll see if that gets any traction in the mainstream news, but I am going to put it up there and repeat it quite often. Here we go. Here's the one I couldn't find. Donald Trump put this out. This is the biggest story of the year. Okay, folks? And this was today, the biggest story of the year. And Republicans must do something about it. Don't be Mitch McConnell and his gang of rhinos. You have to make a move now. Get tough, get smart. Our country is being stolen. Now I had to black a word or blur a word out, okay, because I can't say that word, and that's why I had to take a comment down. Heartland Rasmussen poll. 1 in 5 of a particular voter admit to committing at least one kind of VOTER, right? FARUOD during the 2020. Okay. And it's the kind of voter that they put it's called a stamp on their stuff. Okay. But I can't talk about that stuff. Not allowed to. And Mike Davis, is this Mike? Oh, this is RNC Research. New data, prices up 17.4% under Biden. Real wages are down by 2.8% under Biden. Bidenomics, that's RNC Research. But Mike Davis, didn't he say he was going to be Trump's attorney general? I'll pull him up in a minute. But, Rumble got taken down for about 8 minutes at the end of the RNC debate. I had a screenshot of where I was trying to get on Rumble and said page not available. And I was going to show you all that last night. I was going to say, look, I was having trouble getting on Rumble. And then later on, I heard a lot of other people were having trouble on Rumble. I said, wait, no, I better not. I've been picking on Rumble too much. All right. Well, it turns out no other platform was affected with a blackout but Rumble. And the blackout, I'll call it a cyber attack, okay, came from the people who were putting on the debate, cut the feed off to Rumble and Rumble only to the last 8 minutes of the debate. And that's when Vivek was throwing haymakers, okay? But anyway, Rumble is suing Check My Ads for defamation. Rumble is suing 2 individual plaintiffs, suing them personally, who run Check My Ads in connection with Media Matters. They're seeking punitive damages, which means, folks, A lot of you may know this, but it means treble damages. That means 3 times. 3 times. Okay? Anyway, I think Mike Davis changed his profile picture. But anyway, there you have it. Going to be the next Attorney General, right? Not a crime to object to presidential elections. Allowed by the Electoral Count Act of 1887. Not a crime. Not a crime to twist political arms. Did Trump act within official capacity, presidential immunity, or personal capacity? First Amendment. Trump will prevail on these legal grounds. No matter how you slice it, okay? It's permitted under the Electoral Count Act of 1887, okay? He's acting in his official capacity, and even if not in his personal capacity, he has the right of free speech. So, you know, for people that are on the bandwagon with this creep right here, which the Supreme Court did grant them review, which doesn't mean they'll go along with it. Special counsel reveals plans to use Trump's phone data at trial. Dig this. Jack Smith indicated that he plans to call an expert witness who extracted and reviewed data copied from Trump's phone. Oh, let's see what else it says. Special counsel Jack Smith speaks to the media about indictment of former Trump President Donald Trump. So, he extracted data from the cell phone Trump used while in the White House and plans to represent evidence of his findings to a Washington, D.C. jury to demonstrate how Trump used a phone in the weeks during which he attempted to subvert the 2020 election. Well, guess what? He had no business and no authority to continue spying on the President of the United States. The Secret Service has access to Trump's phone, as does the Department of Defense. Who authorized this rogue prosecutor to do what he did? And I'm telling you, what he did was a criminal act. When they took down his tweet, that was a criminal act. That gets back to my main point of subversion and defrauding the American people, okay, of a properly functioning government. So we'll see. The sword cuts both ways, Jack, okay? You better stick your finger inside your collar and pull that collar out and loosen it up, because I'm sure it's feeling kind of tight. Because before this is over with, there's going to be a lot of people in a lot of trouble. Trump didn't do a damn thing wrong. He did everything that he was allowed to do and required to do under the law. Remember what I said. What I said about duty, okay? Instituting the penalties as prescribed by law is not a choice. It's a duty. You swear to uphold the law and to institute the penalties for breaking the law. And they have used the law, the legal system, not the law. They've used the legal system to subvert our government and to overthrow a duly elected president. So I'm going to play on my way out this as a public service, and is put out by Congress as they are moving toward authorizing a impeachment inquiry, which will expand Congress's powers and give them greater clout and a longer reach. Okay. And I'll play this. It's interesting that they started off with Orson Welles and Citizen Kane. I talked about very, very early when I was doing broadcasts how two movies or two media events influenced intelligence agencies around the world about how to manipulate people. One of them was King Kong. The special effects had people fainting in the streets of New York. The 1933, I believe it was, version of King Kong, and Orson Welles' radio broadcasts of War of the Worlds. People actually believed during that radio broadcast that there were aliens on this planet. People were losing their minds, committing you-know-what-aside. Okay, and it showed the power of media. But anyway, so here, especially if you think Trump is an evil person, he just woke up from his billionaire lifestyle and said, you know what? I'm going to stick my head in the beehive of politics and put my life in jeopardy, my family's life in jeopardy, because I feel like it, because I'm a jerk. That's why I'm doing it. If you feel that way, you got to re-examine Donald Trump. He's thrown away a life of luxury, okay, to enter into a hellhole. So now here this inquiry is starting, and this is an explanation of it. If after the broadcast this clip is removed, it's because I may get a copyright strike over it. I do not know. But what it is an explanation of how they're moving forward about the Biden crime family's activities and what is going to happen with this impeachment inquiry. I appreciate you all spending your precious time with me. I'm going to play the clip for you right now. But if you're not subscribed, please subscribe so you know when I go live. And as I mentioned, I have a Buy Me a Coffee link in the description if you want to help the channel out. You all have a great evening and enjoy this clip. And I hope you learned something from it. And until we meet again, this is Mountain Man, over and out.
Politician takes action, family gets money, and politician takes steps to hide it. A tale as old as time. And that's the tale we face today with President Joe Biden.
Oh, son of a...
Over the last several months, the Judiciary Oversight and the Ways and Means Committee have uncovered evidence of Biden family influence. The evidence includes $15 million in payments to the Biden family, $240,000 in payments directly to Joe Biden, and a threatening WhatsApp message sent by Hunter Biden to a Chinese executive. You have this evidence on top of 4 key facts that have not changed. 1, Hunter Biden was on the board of Burisma. 2, Hunter was not qualified to be on the board of Burisma. 3, the executives at Burisma asked Hunter to help them with the pressure they're under. 4, Joe Biden goes to Ukraine, gives a speech attacking the prosecutor, which starts the process of getting him fired. These facts haven't changed, and evidence across the investigation continues to grow. Where there's smoke, there's fire. That's why the Judiciary Committee, along with the other 2 committees, began this impeachment inquiry into President Joe Biden. Now, you might be asking yourself, what's an impeachment inquiry? An impeachment inquiry is a phase of congressional investigation. In an inquiry, we examine the available evidence, request documents, conduct interviews, and determine the grounds for articles of impeachment. In practice, the inquiry bolsters our ability to compel testimony and the documents necessary to conduct our investigation. The goal of our impeachment inquiry is to get answers to 4 key questions. Question number 1, did Joe Biden take action or change policy because of benefits received by him or his family from foreign interests? Our investigation thus far has uncovered payments that went to members of the Biden family happened during Joe Biden's presidency originated from countries where then Vice President Biden played an official role and were layering through complicated payment schemes. The Oversight Committee has identified over 20 different companies used in some cases that appear to have been created for the sole purpose of serving as pass-through entities. We will continue to investigate whether this money paid to the Biden family had an impact on Biden's conduct as president or vice president of the United States, as well as the bribery allegation in the FBI FD 1023 form, the circumstances around the $200,000 so-called loan repayment, and the $40,000 check from laundered Chinese money. Question number 2. Did Joe Biden abuse his office by providing foreign interests with access to him and his office in exchange for payments to him or his family? In 2014, Joe Biden dined with a Russian oligarch who, around the time of the dinner, wired $3.5 million to one of Hunter Biden's businesses. It's important to note that this oligarch was absent on Biden's sanction list.
Yeah, severe economic sanctions on Putin and all those folks around him.
Additionally, a Biden family associate testified that he was personally aware of at least 20 times President Biden spoke on speakerphone with Hunter Biden's foreign business associates. We will investigate whether these foreign interests were given access to Joe Biden because of payments made to his family or to him. Question 3. Did Joe Biden participate in a scheme to enrich himself or his family by giving foreign interests the impression that they would receive access to him in exchange for payments to him or his family, despite Joe's insistence?
I've never spoken to my son about those things.
Is unfortunately true. Evidence shows then President Biden and dined with Biden's foreign business associates. He alleged his father was in the room when he demanded payment from a Chinese business associate. We will examine if and to Joe Biden engaged in this scheme. The last question. Judiciary impeachment inquiry. Did Joe Biden obstruct or hinder the investigation into Hunter Biden? Here's what we know. The Biden DOJ slow-walked the investigation into Hunter Biden. DOJ let the statute of limitations lapse for tax years 2014 and 2015, the years of income from Burisma. Hunter's legal team was tipped off about the impending search on his storage unit. The DOJ didn't allow investigators to take steps that would lead to Joe. The DOJ then puts together a sweetheart deal so they can sweep the whole thing under the rug. But thanks to two courageous whistleblowers and a judge in Delaware, the deal falls apart.
The deal began to unravel when the judge asked if it gave Hunter Biden broad immunity for other crimes, including in his foreign business dealings in Ukraine and China.
All signs point to interference from the highest levels of the Biden administration, with Biden appointees and Attorney General Carlson orchestrating the plea deal and the investigation to protect Joe. The inquiry phase of our investigation enables us to examine the necessary information to not only answer these questions, but helps us determine the grounds for articles of impeachment.
You want to play games? Okay. Come on. Okay. Do you want to play rough? Okay. Say hello to my little friend.